Hello everyone. In today's video lecture, we are going to discuss a point, High Court. High Court is a point which is coming under a state government. So what are the contents? We'll just have an overlook with it. We are going to see the introduction, organization, independence of High Court and jurisdiction of powers of High Court. So initially we'll just try to just know or understand what is exactly meant by a High Court. So, High Court usually refers to the superior court of a country or a state. So, in some of the countries, it is the highest court. Okay, so for example, in Australia, High Court is treated as the highest court. Okay, in others, it is positioned lower in the hierarchy of courts. For example, in India or in England. So, a person who presides as a judge in such a court may be called as a High Court judge. So, despite in the basics of High Court, okay, what does the High Court do? So, High Court is the third highest court in India and it deals with the civil cases and appeals made against the decision in the lower courts. So, this is the basic thing what the High Court has to do. Okay, so if there is any decision which is done against in the lower courts, at that time the citizens are having the right to go into the High Court. So the High Court is divided into three parts. Okay, so which deals with different kinds of cases. So depending on that, the High Court is being divided into various sections. So in India, single integrated judicial system, the High Court operates below the Supreme Court. Okay, so Supreme Court is at the highest level. Okay, Supreme Court is at the highest level and below that you have a High Court and below that you have a High Court. Okay, so above these two you have a subordinate court. The judiciary is in a state consists of High Court and a hierarchy of subordinate courts, and the High Court occupies the top position in the judicial administration of a state. So in the institution of High Court originated in India in 1862, when the High Court were set up at Calcutta, Bombay and Madras. In 1866, a fourth High Court was established at Allahabad. So, in the course time, each province in British India came to have its own High Court. After 1950s, a High Court existing in a province became the High Court of corresponding state. So, these are just the introductory things about the High Court. Organization of High Court. So, in organization of High Court, basically every High Court consists of Chief Justice and other judges. Okay, so for time to time, according to the workload, President determines the strength of High Court. Okay, so these are the different strengths of the High Court. So at present in 2019 there are 25 High Courts in the country. Out of them only 3 High Courts have jurisdiction over more than one state. Among the 9 union territories, Delhi alone has a separate High Court since 1966. The union territories of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh have a common High Court. The other union territories fall under the jurisdiction of different state High Courts. The Parliament can extend the jurisdiction of a High Court to any union territory or exclude the jurisdiction of a High Court for any union territory. And the name, year of establishment of territorial jurisdiction and seat of all the 25 High Courts, specifically mentioned in article number 214 to 231 in part 6 of the Constitution, deals with the organization, independence, jurisdiction, powers, procedures and so on of the High Court. So you can see one diagram over here which shows the organization of judicial system in India. You have a Supreme Court, okay, you have a Supreme Court, you have a High Court, subordinate court, and then below that you have remaining courts, that is civil court, criminal court and some other courts. Okay, so this diagram is very clear, showing the organization of the courts. Coming to the next point is independence of High Court. The independence of High Court is very essential for the effective discharge of the duties assigned to it. So there should be free from the announcements, pressures and the interferences of the executives, that is Council of Minister. So following things are to be taken into consideration. Mode of appointment. What is the mode of appointment? In which the judge of High Court are appointed by the President in consultation with the members of judiciary itself. Then security of tenure. The judge of High Court are provided with security of tenure. We know this thing that the judges do have a great security. Okay. Then fixed service conditions. Salaries, allowance, privileges, leave and pensions of the judges of High Courts are determined from time to time by the Parliament. Expenses charged on consolidated funds. So the salaries and allowances of the judges and the salary allowances and the pensions of the staff as well as the administrative expenses of a High Court are charged and the reconsolidated fund of the state. Thus they are not volatile by the state legislature. Okay. Conduct of judge can be discussed. The constitution prohibits and any discussion in the parliament or in state legislature with respect to the conduct of judge of a High Court in the discharge of their duties, except when an impeachment motion is under the consideration of the parliament. Then still there are different things like ban on the practice after retirement. The retired permanent judge of a High Court are prohibited from pleading or acting in court or any authority in India except the Supreme Court. Power to furnish for its contempt. A High Court can punish any person for its contempt. Freedom to appoint its staff. The Chief Justice of a High Court can appoint officers and servants of the High Court without any interference from the executive. Its jurisdiction can be curtailed. The jurisdiction of and powers of High Court is so far as they are specified in the Constitution not be curtailed both by the Parliament and the state legislature. And last one is the separation from executive. The Constitution directs the state to take the steps to separate the judiciary from the executive in public services. This means that the executive authorities should not possess the judicial powers consequent upon its implementation, and the role of executive authorities in judicial administrations come to an end. And these are some jurisdictions and powers of High Court. Like the Supreme Court, the High Court has been vested with quite extensive and effective powers. Okay, so it is the biggest court of appeal in the state. It is the protector of fundamental rights of the citizens. Besides, it has an supervisory and consultative roles. The Constitution also confers some more additional powers on High Court, like jurisdiction, then power of superintendency, consultative power, etc. At present, a High Court enjoys the following jurisdictions and powers: original jurisdiction, right jurisdiction, appellate jurisdiction, supervisory jurisdiction, control over subordinate courts, a court of record, and power of judicial review. So in this lecture we discussed about the different parts of High Court. So what is High Court, which are the courts coming under High Court, which are the courts which are above High Court, what are the roles and responsibilities of the people or the advocates and the High Court judges working in a High Court. Thank you.